You're listening to the Warheads Podcast.
Welcome to the Warheads Podcast, a very special podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's SPG in case anyone wants to know. That's SPG.
Yeah, I'm practicing my hip hop intro ad libs.
Yeah, aka pontification skills. And joining us today.
Crazy.
Well, you know what? You guys introduce yourselves.
My name is Sivers the Third, Sivers. Oh, you want to pick it up?
Yeah,
this is like old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Sivers the Third, Sivers the Third, THA. Third, if you can't spell
This is
that.
like an ebonic
It's not for you.
session. They feel like E40
you
is
can
just
find
gonna like.
You can find me on Instagram. I'm just here chilling. Next to me is you want your real name or you want your alias?
We want your street name. We want your street name first.
Yeah, it's Ghost.
He's on brother. It's all right, Paula.
Second in command at Red L Records.
Yo,
And we just here kicking it with you guys from Warhead Podcast. There it is.
Kicking it, drinking a sip one. My God, gosh, golly.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to Amon the cat.
Yeah, man. Amon's been
The anonymous one.
Yeah,
very welcoming. He's just currently guarding us.
you might as well lion just
Sitting at the door.
just out the door.
Yeah.
So Sivs, thank you
What's
so much for coming through, bro. Like, I kind of feel like this pod was in the making for like what? 8 years, 7 years?
Yeah, because I was looking to come and chop it out, y'all, since like True to Wire days. And then just because like Robin's always been like a really good friend of mine, good mentor, like in terms of hip hop and just in life. So I always wanted to just come through.
Well, thanks.
Talk
Thanks.
about some hip-hop,
Thanks.
you know?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I have looked upon you, student. I have found you worthy. It's really good. It's really good. Well, yeah, you're right. We wanted to do this for a long time. I've got very fond memories of young, real name,
Yeah.
Sivers the Third.
It's true.
Um,
Very true, bro. In after biology class, trying to just talking about hip hop.
Yeah.
It just took me on a very long journey. I was just running through this in my head earlier today. Like when I first started rapping, I wasn't even interested in like hip hop as a child. Like I was more into R&B and soul and reggae, obviously. But then my brother was really heavy into hip hop, so he would get like all these CDs every time. Like my dad and my mom would go overseas or travel, or if he could get them locally, just rip stuff. Like more days. Quote, unquote. Yeah, but he would have like records like Nas and Godson and Nostradamus and Biggie's Ready to Die. And I really started rapping because at the time he was playing some music in his room on Sunday because I also was very religious, but my brother was not. And, yeah, he was playing Ready to Die. It was The What with Method Man and Biggie Smalls. And I was just like, yo,
That's a classic.
what is this beat?
Classic record.
I was just drawn to his room. I don't even know what happened. I was just like very drawn to the room. And I came in and I just heard, excuse me, flows just flow through me like leaves from branches, cliffs to avalanches. It's the praying. I was like,
Hey,
did this man just pick up in a song, bro? And that was it. I don't know how many times I've told this story, but probably a couple times. But it's like, that's what really got me interested in hip hop. And I just went down the rabbit hole. And after that, I got disconnected from hip hop for a while. I was listening to rap, but it wasn't like traditional rap. It was more like like Kid Cudi, and I don't really consider like Kanye like traditional hip hop in the sense of what it started at in the 90s.
Right.
And I was at school after class and just talking rap with the guys, and Robin just jumped in. He was like, yo, dog, like, da-da-da. We were just talking about rap. And it didn't feel like a teacher-student
I was
kind of
about to
moment.
say.
It was
Forget
more
teacher.
like, it was just like, yeah, we just love hip-hop. We just love the
Yeah, but-
sport that was hip-hop.
But that's the thing about you, Sibs. I feel like you always felt like one of us because you just love hip hop. You're not like
first.
it's not like some random cameo and you wearing gold chains sitting on a couch in the club. Like you seriously about this hip hop life.
I mean, that's part of the culture too. Ain't me, but that's part of the culture too. But yeah, last part of the story I was mentioning is like I didn't really know about like that like kind of like neo soul fusion and hip hop side of things, and then let me just see if I'm on here. Wait, I didn't really know about that like side of hip hop where it was like Talib Kweli kind of fusing, and he actually recommended Revolutions Per Minute. I talk about that on my album too. Like that album really changed. That started another rabbit hole. I went down that and I discovered like Fugees and like early like Outkast and like Most Def, and it was just like, yo, these men really doing this on a different level, bro.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't as gritty as the commercial rap that they would push like the violence and the anger and the like the, you know, misogyny and whatever. I mean, like you had elements of it or whatever, but it was like these guys were like trying to solve a really bigger problem, you know. And I always try to like incorporate that in my music too.
That brings back some memories on Rebel.
Me feel quiet and reverent.
Yo, you know what's one of the albums he recommended me that I listen to this day and I still mess with it? Blue, Below the Heavens, with dog, I love that album, bro. Just the intro track alone.
Blue and XL?
Yeah, dog, crazy.
Blue and XL, BLU and Exile, yo.
It's true.
That people don't know what our music, yo.
I listened to Below the Heavens like 20 times. I think that's like me being humble because I think I've listened to that much more than that. It's just crazy. And from top to bottom, I just loved everything about it. The storytelling, the choice of beats, the fact that I have like little skits in between it, and like I kind of really I had to kind of adjust to the era because the music doesn't sound like that anymore. So if
really doesn't.
Now, I kind of fuse like that new age kind of way of rapping with like an old school style of like cadence. So it's like I don't really try to rhyme. And at some point out to me, he's like, you don't rhyme all your bars. I was like, nah, like I try to tell a story and then I still add any elements of like, you know, adding in similes and metaphors and that kind of stuff.
Similes.
Yeah.
So
some of these new guys can't even spell simile, B.
Oh, behave.
Metaphor? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Nah, pretty bad. You're too young for that. It's true.
You're good.
But it's like that's like I love all of it, man. I love all the new and the old stuff. Like I'm a fan of Lil Baby. I'm a fan of Jay-Z.
Lil Baby can rap though.
He can.
Yeah, but he does it still very modern. I like Roddy Ricch too.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is about it is that I am a.
You don't want this smoke.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, he had something on his head, so I had.
Don't mess with a black man, run, boy.
Yeah, like
carry man.
You need to.
You carry a black man, woman, a black man car.
And this is a really nice. This is a really nice set of rum that we're drinking here. Right, I'm not gonna plug the brand right now. Not yet.
When they cut the check, we
sure, correct.
So yeah, because like I a lot of people. I fall into the yes. I
hear it
cool age again.
Again.
So there's some running jokes on the podcast, right? But I fall into the category of an old head, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not.
Okay.
Fully.
Not fully.
No. I really appreciate modern hip hop.
Okay.
I continue to listen. I mean, you know, come on. I mean, you know, my roots are where they are, but yeah, there are a lot of new artists that definitely.
I feel that like what the guys are doing is that they're kind of like lucky. People always get on Nas for like how his beats sound, but like that's what the man had to worry though. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have like all these spectrums and the programs back then that they could make like, you know, synthesizers and futuristic.
Don't excuse him. Don't you dare.
So you think that Nas picked my beats too?
Oh God, here we go. You listen to Nas. King's Disease.
Yeah, I did.
How you felt about it?
I think your boy did a really good job providing production for.
Listen to me.
For what Nas was trying to do.
This is why we need video because.
Robin just walking, just like fool. But nah, like I really think your boy did a good job. I don't think it all depends on like what kind of Nas fan you are. Correct. Are you like a new Nas fan or like you a traditionalist Nas fan? Because it's like
that's a very interesting concept there about new Nas fan. Is that even possible?
I don't think that. some of Nas's older fans like hearing him on modern beats, and two parts to that is I don't think that they mind hearing him on modern beats once it is still like a connection to what brought him into the game. So like as
Fair
much
enough.
as people like crap on
Fair enough.
Kanye,
Fair
that
enough.
7-track project, all the beats and the samples chosen by
My
Kanye
God.
still kind of complement what Nas really came in for. I felt like they just created like a.
Oh, we talking about which record we talking
Talking
about?
about
So this
Talking
is
about
Nasir
Nasir
versus
King's Disease. Right. Okay. Okay. Cool.
So it's like I feel like I want to say Ye did a better job. I mean, I guess it depends on who listening. But I just try to see like where these guys like Nas and like Jay-Z, like what beats will you choose in this era where everything is so very fast paced?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Most rappers don't rap like even the big guys now don't really rap like the cadence where it's like taking your time to explore thoughts and ideas on verses. You know what I mean? Kendrick, Cole, to me, they're like more modern rappers, but they're still traditional hip hop people to me. But even they don't rap that very slow on most of their records.
No,
very fast paced.
They do not. But I.
So you did not like King's Disease?
Well, I'm gonna say that I keep up with them because as much as they are rapping at a higher tempo,
I realize the content avoiding the question.
The might hard be because
like, you know, do you like it?
The might like
let me be real though. You didn't like it?
Like, be real.
Nah, I did not like it.
Ah, fair. Did you like Nasir?
Oh, there, I hated that even more.
Okay, fair enough.
And
so you do not enjoy Nas on modern production.
That's not what it's about at all.
Okay. So what's your qualm?
I couldn't wait to hear Nas on modern production, but maybe I didn't understand how Nas would sound on new production. However, to be fair, here's the thing: we talked about this last podcast, and I said that I felt like Nas doesn't have much to say anymore. He's singing old.
You don't want
guy.
to smoke.
Now you don't want to smoke. I'm on. Stop it. Like he's seriously like, do I need to give you a glass? This cat.
Pour the cat a drink.
Pour the cat a drink. Yeah. So like, what I'm saying is that to get to the point of this, I just feel like he's not hungry. He hasn't been hungry for a long time. I mean, don't get me wrong. As an older guy, I can understand the feelings about being more concerned with quality of life, and just lounging and enjoying what you've achieved. But that doesn't make for necessarily particularly compelling raps as far as I'm concerned. And so a lot of his raps I felt were very much about
Rick Ross-ish.
It's just very much.
That's an interesting comparison.
Well, you can talk about that. You can talk about that Rick Ross comparison. I'm going to say
I'm not gonna ever say Ross and Nas are on the same level, but what I will say is I noticed what you're talking about, like that luxury, like
right, exactly,
like kind of like
this is the highlight. This is the highlight, right?
Like I referenced that Dave Chappelle joke where he's like he's in a club with Nas and Nas goes, "Yeah, we really came a long way from the projects, right, B?" And Dave was like, "Oh no." I didn't. He was like, Dave was like, yeah. But Dave didn't grow up in projects.
Exactly. Suburbs.
Mom was like,
parents allowed me to grow poor around white people.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Love it.
It was just like,
love it.
That's how I feel about Nas. I feel like he's very, as he should be, thankful for life. Where he is.
Hey, I mean,
but like I said, that hunger, like I still hear the hunger in Kendrick's voice every time you drop a project, bro. And that's crazy to me. If you really know his story and like all the projects he put out before Good Kid, Mad City, before Section 8, and to still be able to rap with that like that gusto, like that vigor, is very interesting. That it's very hard to stay hungry when you I guess when you're rich or in a better position.
What SPG wanted to say was that the album felt a little lazy because we understand the lyrical dexterity that Nas has. So I can say it has, right? It's not like he's like a new kid. Like he knows how to get on a track and and work it. And so I think that the expectation, and that's the messed up part when it comes to like artists and artistry and stuff like that. There's always an expectation. Are you okay, or do we need to go Sandy Crest? No, you're good. There's an expectation that when Nas touches his track, it's gonna be like kind of like how we felt when we knew that J-Let was dropping the first album. I don't know.
Whatever that was.
You listened to it?
That was a dud to me.
Yeah, but why? Did you have like high hopes for it?
No.
I know we into some like hip hop fan shit, and we should be talking about you. We should be talking about you, Sivs.
I guess we can recenter after this, but what I will say about J-Let is that like I think he's a dope lyricist.
He is.
But like a lot of dope lyricists, he suffers from what I call the writer's curse. He can rap really well, but in terms of putting together a good song, not really his forte.
I'm not so sure if it's about a good song as much as it is about a good project, and we've talked about this on more than one occasion.
But like a good project is a collection of good songs, though.
It is, but how many good songs can you put out? You see, sometimes, like sometimes I wonder if when an artist like J-Let sits down, well, I shouldn't say J-Let, but when certain artists sit down and decide, I want to make an entire project, that's 10 songs. 10 songs of how many verses? Am I doing 2 verses per song? Am I getting some people to come in and collab with me so I don't have to do 2-3 verses a song? And so it becomes a situation where 10 songs, 15 songs becomes what? 40 something verses? 30 verses? How many? And do you have enough to say? I felt sorry.
No, do the same.
Yeah, I felt like J-Let just felt diffused, to use a biology term.
I think he felt that people have been waiting so long for it that it would have sold well regardless.
No matter what.
I think he felt the same way Chauncey Rapper felt about the big day. Where it's like, I am Chauncey Rapper or I am J Electronica, people will buy my stuff. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Unfortunately, they're not allowed the courtesy of say like a Jay-Z who's had a decade of putting in work where he could like drop something that may not hit like a I want to say for what was
Magna Carta, Holy Grail.
Like that wasn't a bad project, but for a lot of people that wasn't like you know what I mean? It wasn't no Blueprint One.
I got put you on the spot. What's your favorite J album?
Lost, you know. It wasn't no Kingdom Come. It wasn't
nothing like what's your favorite Jay-Z album?
My favorite Jay-Z album would have to.
I already know what mine is.
I really enjoy Kingdom Come.
You like Kingdom Come?
When I was growing up, that was what I was like hearing a lot. So I guess
none of the blueprints. None of the blueprints.
1 and 2, not so much a fan of 3. I like 444.
Blueprint 2.
You prefer 2?
I prefer Blueprint 2, but the blueprints for me though.
Yeah, I really liked Blueprint 3, and I really liked Magna Carta.
Holy Grail.
Yeah. I liked it too. But I mean, in terms of I don't even know what I was trying to refer. All right, I think what I was trying to say is like I think Jay has afforded the courtesy of like, yo, I have that batting average.
Yeah.
My songs don't hit that way. It's not because like I don't have anything to say. It's like I've said so much already.
Fair enough. That's fair play.
Think Chance and J Electronica, are allowed that courtesy because it's like, what have we really heard from them?
Dude, J-Let ain't tell me nothing. Yeah.
That I am J Electronica or I am Chauncey Rapper.
What J-Let got? Exhibit C?
Whatever I want.
Exhibit A, Exhibit C, Exhibit B. That's it.
That's all he has.
I mean, but you see, this is the thing. We talked about this on a previous episode where we were talking about the greatness disease. Every rapper who has put out exceptional work and has had critical acclaim that pedestals them, puts them up in the top 5, people top 10 and that kind of thing.
Correct.
There are a lot of them that suffer from a situation where when they start to put pen to paper for the next project, they're like, how do you follow that?
Yeah.
And J-Elect said that on, what was it now? What was the name of that thing? Anyway, J Electronica said it on that album. He said there was a verse where he talked about all the persons asking him, well, why doesn't he put something out? Why is he not making the album? And he said something along the lines of, you want me to wrap my heart out so that you can pick it apart. And so there was this, and it's something that, what's his name? Tree Stacks talked about.
Oh yeah,
I know Eminem talked about it on one of his albums.
Fair.
A lot of them talk about having a
Yeah,
team.
how do you follow that up?
How, like
Logic talked about
How do you follow up?
Logic talks about it.
Yeah, baby.
How do you follow that?
Caroline.
You know what he's doing now?
Oh.
He's just going around like playing bass
like a
clarinet.
normal-
Yeah,
he's
just playing.
traveling, bro.
Yeah, just playing
He
music
will
for
just
people.
literally play it for people.
And I mean, you know, he's rich, so you know.
I think what happened with Andre, going to another topic and not a movie, but it's like,
That is not Sivers.
Yeah, but
Can
no,
we talk
I will
about
say
Sivers,
this
please?
again, like I said at the beginning of this. I'm a fan of hip hop, but like I think was I would go again. What I was saying about Andre is I think at the end of the day he's still the same Andre 3000. Like he wasn't outcast. I think he just loves like music in general and like connecting with, not necessarily connecting with fans, but creating moments and experiences for people.
Yeah,
Because I felt like all of his music videos were like that. Like he creates experiences.
Facts,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? They're
That's
very iconic moments. I know I'm not sure if he directed any of them, but it's just like, again, even if he didn't come up with the idea, his performances in them,
correct.
his performances really carried over what he was trying to do, you know? Whether it be like his like more R&B stuff, you know what I mean? Or whether it be his more rappy stuff. I think it's really hard to follow that shit up, especially when you like. Sometimes I think Joe Budden said this. Give a little credit.
Yeah.
He was like, "It takes." Is it him? But I think it's him. I can just get to him.
Yeah.
I think he was like, "It takes you 10 years to make your debut project. You put your heart into it. You all the right connections fall into line.
Correct.
You know, you get all the singles you need, all the hits you need, all the attention you need, and then what? I mean, like, where do you begin? How do you replicate 10 years worth
Yeah.
of work?
How do you move on from
And
that?
like your label telling you, "Oh, that was great, fantastic."
Let's
We
do
need
it
that
again. We need that
Like,
again.
how do you do that? You know, how do you do that? And that's why I feel like artists like Cole and Kendrick, they disappear. I think they take time. They don't feed into the machine of things. And they kind of like take time to kind of like, because there was a period of time where Cole was that artist where he was dropping.
He was just dropping music,
You know what I mean?
dropping
I don't know if
music.
you all remember like the sideline stories. I think they're
Of course.
trash. But I mean,
Of
like
course we
the
did.
early sideline story stuff. Like
Yeah.
that was not good. J. Cole. Cole was good when Cole was able to make what he wanted to make. So the warm up Friday Night Lights.
Young Simba.
amazing.
You know I would love to hear Sivs on Young Simba beat though.
That beat was hard, bro.
Boom, boom. The video that the man was like going backward. Oh, so good.
But from the moment it was like, "We got a good thing." you saw that like Cole just went, "Child, is all it takes for people to like love me."
Yeah, B.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could dance.
Yeah, a little mainstream
Started
bop.
to feel disgusted. And you could hear in his raps, like he felt disgusted with hip hop.
I'm disgusted
He
with
was just
myself.
like,
Cold world,
dude.
disgusted snuggie.
And he just rap. And then even the hits that he had after that, like the singles with like Miguel and just like like generic.
I love that. I love that track though.
No,
love
I
that
say
track.
that. Miguel
I love
and
that
J.
track.
Cole,
That's
not
a
hard.
fire. That's a fire.
like, no,
That's a fire.
But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, I think he got so into the formula of what rap is that he kind of just was like, "Nah, let me go back to like what made me who I am."
Okay, so
Cool.
Segue.
Segue. Hey.
Hey. So what I remember
Mm.
is that during the True the Wire era, that's how I remember it. I remember you started doing a show called The Avenue.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So tell us about how you move from discussion and discovery of amazing hip hop. Thank you. You're welcome. Right?
It's got the little foot clap with the fingers. Just, yeah.
How you went from having those discussions and those powwows with the guys, right, about hip hop to running that show.
So let me tell you how. Yeah. So let me tell you how my mind worked. So I was recording an EP called So Soulful that never came out and never will come out because me and that engineer is that's that. You know what I mean? And that's all I'll say on that. You know
So
what I mean?
soulful.
Essentially, I finished the EP.
Wait a minute.
He sent me back the masters and the mixes. They were trash. And I told him about it. And he was like, "Oh, just gonna play in your car. You got bad speakers." I have my MacBook Pro at this time, by the way. So I'm just like, ain't getting no better than them. You know what I mean? So he was like, "Gonna play in your car and listen to it." And it was just mixed, mastered. But I didn't know I'm gonna call the man in because this is my livelihood. This is what the man do for a living. So I was like, okay, sir, thank you very much.
You know who you are with the bad mix.
And I left.
You know who you
And,
are with music that supposedly only plays well through car speakers.
I was really frustrated about that, bro, because it was like I wasn't working nowhere. I was still at school.
Yeah.
I was paying for this with like lunch money stuff. Like I was getting.
Where were you at community?
I was still at university at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like first year, like fresh in university, or just left Harrison College. But SMS better. Anyway, yeah. I love both schools. Nah, I love both schools. Yeah, so I had left there. I got really frustrated, and I was just like, you know what, like talking to other artists and stuff that had happened to them too, kind of made me go, okay, so there's a soca industry, but there is no music industry. How do I create a music industry?
You're talking about some real heavy
You
stuff.
can't Google that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could try.
So wait. Before we do this, you gotta define what you believe is an industry, because there are artists who've been doing this for years.
I was against that part.
Right.
So when I asked myself that question, I started looking at different places and what they did to create an industry.
Right.
So it's like I looked at Australia, I looked at the UK. I don't know if y'all know this, but in the UK, how rap really got popping, because before it was like a lot of disco, a lot of Beatles, a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was that these guys would pirate radio.
Okay.
So like Tim Westwood would pirate radio. He was like a pirate
Tim
radio.
Westwood TV.
He would like get all the records from the streets. He would pirate like a radio slot, and he would play this music. And it was like
this is like some real underground shit. Then
he would take the music that he would get from the streets, pair it in club, and the clubs would sell out. So then the actual radio stations were like, "Yo, like, how are you doing this, bro? Like, how are you selling out these clubs?" He was like, "Oh, well, we just work with the artists. You know what I mean? Like, we get rappers from America to come over. Like, we play their stuff, because obviously hip hop wasn't really a thing in UK
at the time,
at the time. And like, he made it a thing, but just constantly just creating content that people really wanted to hear. They wanted to hear the rebellious kind of like edgy era that hip hop was in, and he transitioned from being a pirater to one of the biggest voices in hip hop for a period of time.
Got that right.
Before Charlie Sloth and the other newer guys came in.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, okay. Looked at the Australia scene, and these guys were like just gigging, bro. Like, they were just doing a lot of like pubs and a lot of bars, a lot of like stuff for free, like building up stuff.
But how are these artists? How are they getting paid? So they're just like booking out like little small
venues. Like
just,
at first it would start off as like, they're not like making much money from it, but then it became a thing where it's like, yo, like Grime became the song of the UK, to the fact where like they started cloning guys that from the UK that sound like Americans, Time Temple, and that was the end of them. You know what I mean? That was the end of those artists. Like, they make music, they write or whatever, but it's like, if you talk about like the history of UK rap, no, you're not gonna be like, yeah, Tiny Temple is my favorite rapper.
Correct, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just no diss to Tiny Temple or nothing.
Yeah.
And what he did.
Shout out to Sandy Lane.
Also, definitely a person that kind of
reference.
So
familiar with that story?
But
Tiny Temple came here.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He came here and they had a big bust up at Sandy Lane.
Only left like last week.
Seriously, he was here all that time?
Created
Want
the
money?
industry. I just watched these stories and I was like, okay. So from everything I read, the industry has three components. There's radio, there's live shows, there is a need or a demand for the music, and they're the artists. Right? How do you get all these connected?
Right.
So obviously, I did not take. That is my manager's phone ringing. I did not take. Is Robin? Somebody's phone was ringing. Right. I did.
B,
not
that song
take,
called Lullaby. B, what is that?
My apologies.
This is the best Bajan pod. Don't you ever forget it.
In the island,
In the island.
in the world, in the Caribbean.
Be creating. Sivers talking about creating a music industry. Be creating a podcast industry. What? Look, this dude. He's being owned by his phone.
You know that moment where like when your phone malfunctions, you just nothing you do.
Nothing you do. Wow.
Yeah, and of course, I did not take a systematic approach to it because I was young and dumb, and I was like, let's just throw shows. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was it. I literally
So even
I
back
say-
then, you were thinking this when you started the avenue. You were thinking
Yeah.
along this line.
Yeah, I didn't know
Wow.
a name or anything.
Were
You
you-
know what I mean? Yeah, so I was rapping then. Like I said, so for EP, I was really frustrated. I kind of took a break back from making music and just listening to music. And I went on SoundCloud, oddly enough, and it was just like a bunch of like hungry guys like that just didn't have a way to like a place to go. You know what I mean? Like this is like early Nick Levelet. This is like Island Levy. This is like early. This is like The Void. This is like Prince Pluto. This is like Queen, like Camilla that does more like photography and stuff. No, this is like Blow Smalls. This is like I mean like you would be crazy like the amount of albums you would go on there or like projects that you would go on there. Gibbs of Physics. You know what I mean? Like, you would go on there and just hear like these men like spinning their heart. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Spitting their heart out is actually a
You know what I mean?
really
Like, they
good
didn't
way.
have the mix or the mastering, obviously, because they ain't got the budget for it. But it was like what they were saying was very like, you know, like this could be something. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just take whatever money I have. Like we washed cars, bro, for the first Avenue show. Like we went to supermarkets, washed cars, collected tips, handed out flyers, and it was just like, okay, we can get these first roster
Like
artists.
that's so.
We asked DJs to like come on perform, like play for us. You know what I mean? Obviously, we had to like pay them for their price or whatever, but it was just a sacrifice to kind of create a space where rappers could come and be rappers. Like you don't need to have a soca act. You don't need to have an R&B act.
Dude. You know how long me and SPG have been saying that we want like
And it's very starry-eyed and dreamy-eyed.
Nah, don't say
But as a
like
promoter, you gotta
dude.
look of a way. But I mean, like, we did well though. We did well. You know what's funny?
yeah.
We did so. I don't even know if I can say this, but like the first 3 shows of Avenue, the bar in Cove made like 10 to 20 grand in drinks alone. So so it wasn't like we weren't profitable to the like to this day.
So what
like, people
happened,
still ask
bro?
me-
Why'd you stop it?
I was young. We had a young team. Someone on our team was robbed.
Oh
and
no! Oh
that
no!
money that we needed to make next show happen didn't happen.
Didn't
and
happen.
That was that.
And that was that.
That
It was
that
a wrap.
that. It was just a matter of like,
Would you
That's
team up?
wrong people.
Would you team up with the Wireheads podcast and start throwing another show again?
hey man, we were actually looking to start about Avenue for next year. Funny enough,
Yo,
everything that we're doing now,
we want in. I'm ashamed. We want in.
to say shameless plug.
We want in.
Hey.
We want to be a part of that.
So we plan is
Yeah.
our plan is 5 shows next year.
Word.
So every other month, skip November, do
Correct.
December. Because another little thing is I want to do a music festival in November. Yeah. So I want to be a multi-day festival.
And not just like
I don't want it to be a
Not like a
one-day.
one-off event.
Because
You're
that's not a
talking about like a exactly. That isn't a festival. You're right.
Yeah.
Yo. All right. These men know what they're talking about.
But yeah, so yeah, we threw the shows. It didn't went the way we wanted it, but it was a great learning experience. I learned a lot about, you know, all the stuff that goes into throwing shows, like whether it be stage timing or venue price or whatever, blah blah blah. And then like after that, I was just like, yo,
I remember I went to one.
okay, which one you went? Because there was part 1 was I remember all these shows because like that's like
How many
yesterday.
did you do? Like 3?
So I did. It was 4. A lot of people don't know about the 4th one because we had a very short time to promote it, and it just kind of happened. But the 4th one was I think the 4th one was one of our best shows,
Right.
in my opinion. We had Nate Wells, we had Blow Smalls, we had Sunrock, we had everybody. It was hard. It was just unfortunately. It was just timing. Juve was the same night,
correct.
and a lot of our following was a lot of like university college students.
Where'd
So
you guys hold the 4
It was still in everything was in Cove.
Everything.
Yeah, it was in the Cove. I remember that you had asked Trudy where to come through and judge.
Yeah, so that would be part
judge.
3. Was
That
this
was
the
the
one where you
third
flew
one.
in the guy from Love and Hip Hop?
No.
So that would have been part 2. So yeah, so it would have been part 2. Yeah, where I asked y'all guys to come and like, you know,
Judge
because what we wanted to do,
competition, but it didn't come off.
it was like a whole. No, that was part 1. I know exactly what you're talking about. This man, Malik Rogers and Sun Rock battle outside the front.
Yep. When
That was crazy, bro. Because the man was like, yo, the DJ was playing, and the man was like, yo, Sivs. I was like, you want to come outside? I was like, why? I was like,
That's where
you
that's
know,
where the battle
I
going
was like, you
down.
know how we didn't have time to do the battle? I was like, yeah, the man battle. I was like, who battling? Like, how y'all even say it? I was like, it's Rock and Malik. I was like, what?
What?
And I just came out there,
Rock and Malik.
David is here, his camera like recording them, and they just getting off their bars, bro. And it's just like, I was like, yo, that's crazy. That is one of the most hip hop moments. Not to blow my own horn, but to me, that was like one of the most like iconic like hip hop moments in Barbados history, bro. Like just coming out there, they're like people like they're tourists walking past, stopping like.
Who battling?
Who are these guys? You know what I mean?
And Rock
Dog,
out
and
there.
the man just like spitting. And these men, and one thing about Malik Rogers that I will always give him, like he makes really good music. Lost a little direction in life and whatnot. But that man, when it comes to freestyling, I would say the way his mind works and the way Rock mind works.
Correct.
I would not say that there are any like different in like skill abilities.
Well, that is the thing, because I remember that at the time, Rock used to eat men for breakfast,
Lunch and dinner.
And I don't know about brunch and supper in between. And they went 3 for 3, like you know.
I remember the traditional stuff, because that was already there. Yeah.
And I'll never forget when Malik dropped. It was almost as if Rock. I think Malik went first, and Rock ate the verse, and then Malik was like, "All right,
oh okay."
And I see, I see Sarah do solo.
My level up.
Yeah. What? So you know the man used to eating niggas, you know.
I never saw that
DBZ
expression
fans.
on the man's face. I said, wait.
Yeah.
Sarah,
He shut. He shut right
Sarah thinking?
Yeah.
B. That was amazing, B.
And that was great. I really wanted to. I mean, the Love and Hip Hop show guy one didn't went the way we wanted to, but again, I was just trying to look at ways to like again. So like forget. I keep saying again.
Love and Hip Hop.
As a promoter, what was going on at the time was a lot of these guys were throwing facts. I'm flying artists. I'm flying in personalities.
Right. Correct.
So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just keep with the trend. Because my idea for Av was always, I will always look at what the promoters are doing locally now, take their infrastructure and just insert hip hop in it. So it was like they were like, you know, at the time they were flying in Cardi B wasn't really big yet, but they were flying in Cardi.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean? They were flying in
Who the guy name? I can't remember the guy
some
name.
fitness
Not
model
Paris?
chick. I can't remember her name. You know, whatever, sweetheart. But it's like yeah, they was flying her in, and I was just like, all right, cool. Who do we have access to? And the guy at the club, Soda Herman, he was like, well, my friend is like a music lawyer, and he manages this guy called Nico London. And it was just like, all right, we just reach out to him, and Nico was just like, you know, we just come in, That was a whole mess in itself. But that's a story for another day. But it's like, yeah, so our idea was to throw the shows. And
Part 2.
yeah, our idea was to throw the shows and just create like an infrastructure. When the shows didn't work, for a while it just was like, all right, cool. Well, I went through full circle. I feel like life is like that is like circle. So I went from not making music to focusing on the artist to back to myself. So I just went working on Thirdian Theory.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, that was the beginning of Thirdian Theory. Actually, the end of Avenue was the beginning of that album.
So what's Thirdian Theory?
It's a spin-off of the Freudian theory, where it's like so Sigmund Freud had this theory of the super ego, the id, and the ego itself. And it was just like the different aspects of a one person's character.
Correct.
And I felt like the music that I was making at the time was very like emotional, very, very me. To the point where it was like my engineer, shouts out my Mixie, we were recording and he was just like, dog, like how you parents gonna feel when they hear this, dog? Like, cause you're like talking with like issues in your life, dog. That was
real life shit.
Just that's
it.
That's
what it is. It's what it is.
And it's just like it's very personal. Bridgetown was right after Av was the beginning of Bridgetown. So I wrote Bridgetown. Shouts out to another friend of mine, Benny Cartier. He was at my house and we were just listening to beats on YouTube. And this Yondo beat came up called Yesterday, which was the Bridgetown beat. And I was just like, dog, you know, it'd be crazy, dog. Like, this just gave me like New York State of Mind, like Alicia Keys vibes, you know. But like, what if we did like a real like rustic hip hop hook on it? And he was like, yo, what would you do? And then we were just freestyling. And then like after a bar, it was just like, Bridgetown, I'm from Bridgetown, nigga. He was like, yo, dog, you gotta keep that. And then like we just recorded it that was like 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. And we put it out and everything. But obviously like at this time I didn't have like music knowledge of like distributors and proper album.
Wait. So when did you create this song?
The song 4 years ago. Yeah. This song actually came out.
Why this song so hard?
On select. My song was the first song
Listen to
on
me
Select
when
Charts.
you first dropped.
Bridgetown was the first song on Select Charts.
Well, one of the first batch.
Right.
Because at the time on Select Charts, you had to submit songs before for their official launch.
Right.
I know that was just a song I sent in, and
I remember.
that's what me and Paul did. Yeah.
I remember when the song dropped on Select Charts. I was like, man, wanna hear this?
What's funny is Bridgetown was on SoundCloud before Select Charts for a year.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
And like that's actually how me and Paul got really cool. Shout out to Paul from Select Charts.
Yo, shout out Paul, man. He's a good guy.
He was just like, it was just one day. It was like the second week, and Bridgetown was like, and he talked, man. He just messaged me. He's like, dog, like, I know you can't see the back end, but like, you sound doing crazy numbers here, dog. Like what going on here? You know what I mean? And then we were just like talking, cause like so at that time, like I think Bridgetown was I don't know if it's the only song, but it was the first song to like go like number 1 3 weeks consecutively.
Right.
And then like it was like in the top 10 for like a couple weeks after that. So I was like,
that's awesome, though, Sid.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. And he was just like, yo, like this song hard. To the point where it's like when I would do open mic night with like Sun Rock and the guys, like there's this one guy, he was in the crowd. I don't know if y'all would know him, but his name is Nathan Matt. He does like photography and video and different stuff for like a Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, dog, like as a real big fan of yours, dog. I was like, oh yo, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, he was real cool about it. He was like, yo, so you performing that song for me tonight? I was like, which one? He was like, you only got one song, dog. To this day, the man is clowning me about that. I was like, which song this is? I was like, Bridgetown. Got to be Bridgetown.
You already got one.
Shout out to Nathan, man. He always like showing me love. Like before, like people even knew what Bridgetown was.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I learned more about the music industry, this would be at UE. This is when I met Darwin.
Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost.
Correct.
And he was I see you. I'm stick in these streets. And he was just like really into events. And I was really in, and he had come in during like the Avenue stages too, like, but he wasn't really a part of it. He was just like helping out when he could. And then like after that, he was just like, yo, I think you got like talent, whatever, like we like, work together. And then he ended up being my manager till now. This was like 4 years ago. And we just built.
So this is a long relationship here.
For sure.
This is UE, was I UE?
Mm-hmm.
Second week of school, I tell this man, this is the last semester you see me, buddy. And it was gone.
Over here.
Right. And it was just like from there, I started working on Thirdian. And I had just moved away from Bridgetown. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, all right, yeah, I got some new stuff here, and I was just writing.
So right to bring it back in, because
my head is blown.
Yeah,
4 years old.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah.
But the track is so good. The track is so good.
It's a classic, and I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I just feel like what I said and what I talked about on there is like Admiral hit Hollaback. It's a hit. Anyway, like it's like yeah.
Listen
for
to
me,
you see that way.
It's
My
just,
father issues made a
my daddy issues.
My daddy,
you crazy.
You crazy?
Yeah.
We could have a genius moment. We could do a lyric breakdown right now. Cause you said a lot of shit in there that just.
I mean, even in the original, all my verses, I said some shit in there. And no, I ain't saying that, but it's like I really do love that hip hop where like people. Because my idea for myself as an artist is I want to rap on an international level, but still include elements of my upbringing.
Correct.
And my story in it. Because I feel like what happens sometimes, and it's not only in Barbados, it is not like a Barbadian problem. Artists that are trying to break into an American market specifically try to change their song to fit to what's going on then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then the green men and the African men come in and change that whole thing. And I was like, yo, we ain't really care if you don't understand what you're saying, big man.
Talking about what we talking
if I have to say I love you. That song's a number one song.
We play Swahili and all
mess up
the
words. You know what I mean? And it's like, these men ain't care, dog. These men in Africa, like selling out venues as big as Kensington over, as big as like Madison Square Garden eating in Africa. You know what I mean? So it's just like that changed everything. That man changed everything. So it's like, I was like, all right, well, I ain't just rap about it. I want to rap with that. Correct.
How I want to rap about it.
You know what I mean?
So right. So I didn't. So to bring it together. Oops. Can you hear me? Thirdian Theory. You were talking about Freudian Theory.
Yeah.
And about the
super ego, the id, and ego.
Right. So how does that connect? How did that form? What Thirdian Theory is?
When you listen to
then tell me what Thirdian Theory is.
When you listen to the album, and it didn't really initially start off like this. It's just like it. So with the super ego, the id, and the ego, each one represents like a part of a personality. So the super ego is like your higher consciousness. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your ego is like who you are, and your id is like a spin-off. It's like that. You ever watch that cartoon? It's got the angel and the demon on your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's legit that. It's like
so Thirdian Theory is the name of the project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Theory. So it's a theory about myself essentially. It's like, am I the kid that spirals out of control because of everything that happens to me, or do I somehow find a way to like not spiral and fix this shit? You know what I mean? So it's like I can even go with Bridgetown because there's a bonus track on the album, but it's still part of the album. You know what I mean?
Ghost is shaking his head.
Sivers. Yeah, get the man in the mic.
Sivers did not want to re-release this song.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
No,
I didn't. Because like I
man.
said, I moved away from Bridgetown, bro. I was just saying, no, I'm gonna do it. I just like I had my thing with it.
Almost every single week, I'll be like, Sivers were releasing Bridgetown.
He'd be like, nah,
Shout out to Ghost.
We'd be going to the studio and he'd just be like, he was just like, we'd finish the album. I was like, yo, what you think about it? He was like, yeah, no, the album hard, but you still got to I was like, no, like, I just don't care about it.
So tell me, Ghost, what did you see in the track that you felt it deserved a re-release?
Oh no, I am kind of the reason why Sivers stopped trying to do. Yeah, I'm marketing myself in the international market,
Right.
Because it was like, if people in Barbados don't love you,
Correct.
ain't gonna love you.
Correct.
Barbadians
Yeah,
are the hardest people to please. If you could please Bajans, the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
So the context of that is not that I really. Yeah, I did give up on the Barbadians. But I can say, wait,
call it for what it is.
Avenue left a really bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? Dealing with the artists, like everything that happened.
Oh wow.
Talking to like people about like how they viewed hip hop at the time. I kind of felt frustrated. I just was like, yo, like imagine like you trying to do this show, you trying to like build a showcase for artists, and they're like, oh well, we can't perform unless we get paid. Like you making the money. It's like, dog, I'm not spending this money on myself, bro. Like
yeah, like I put in these show together.
Here's the funny thing is, right? I think I just say this good. Avenue cost us $700 to shoot with the video element of it. $700 to edit the episodes. That's $1,400.
Yeah.
Right. Aside from that, we spent like $1,000 on this old equipment. Not to mention that some artists couldn't make rehearsals. We picked them up. Some sometimes we'd be there till late. All of us had probably school, jobs, exams at the time.
Yeah.
And then you making $2,400. You make $3,000. Oh, yeah, that's cute. But you spent $2,400.
That's exactly
you make
it.
$600. So now I have $600 to throw the next show.
Exactly.
Not to spend on myself, not to like pay anybody. It's just like I ain't even get paid, dog. I perform too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like it was just like a lot.
But they can't see the bigger. They can't see the bigger vision.
I understand what they were saying though. Like this is my art. It should be paid for it.
Understood.
Right? But it's like we need foundations of building something like
So
big.
what you're describing is a situation where you were in a very different place to these other artists.
Yeah, because like again, it's like
in terms of your vision for yourself and what's going on
to people, but if they don't see it, if you don't see the value in what you can be, no one can show you the value of what you are. I know that sound. If you really like. If you don't see the vision of what you can be, no one can show the value of what you really are. Yeah. So right now they might have been like, yo, dog, you making this, so I should get this. But it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm on is attacking the wire.
Yeah. So it's like, dog, like we could do so much more. I ain't care about this, dog. I want to sell out Kensington Oval, dog. You mean I feel like hero? Like a couple 500 people in the cove, you know what I mean?
Small change, yeah.
But I did leave a baptism. I did really give up. I was like every artist that was saying, well, if we go to America, I didn't guess what can happen after like Darren kind of like showed that to me too is like also I had some friends that were in Canada, that were in the US, that were in these different places in Africa, and talking to them, and they were just like, dog, like it's saturated.
Yeah, of course
Sometimes
it is.
you go to open mic night, there are like 20 people signed up, and by the time you get on stage, the crowd tired. They can't
nobody want to hear you.
They clocked out. They want to hear the DJ.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you should love like what you got in Barbados or all that. I would love to go to the venue.
I think
stand up in front of 150 people that actually came there
to see.
Hip-hop and
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Because it's like when you go to these small open mic nights over there, it's like they come for the artist that's locally popping in the city because that's what they get.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2 other acts after that because
Tops.
they invested.
Gone.
And then after that, it just takes one guy to be bad and they're clocked out.
Going to get a falafel.
You know what I mean?
But Ghost said something just now that really resonated with me, which is it's all about having the USP. So whatever your unique selling proposition is, and in our instance, it will be the story, the narrative, the Bajan, background to what infuses your music. And I guess the problem comes back to the fact that art is not appreciated or remunerated in Barbados like it may be.
It's elsewhere. Treated like a circus sideshow, bro. Wow. Look at Nifka.
Wow. Ouch.
Which
brings us full circle to what you said
get you?
That Derek Wilkie and Steve Lubin told you.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about off here.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that off here.
We need to wrap that back in here. But yeah, you're right. It's not, and it's not just music. It's in art. As a graphic designer, I got out of graphic design and I went into marketing because I knew that I would forever just be a designer. I would never be taken seriously. I would never become a CEO. There's nowhere to go. You're just seen as hired help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's and I don't know if that's a Barbados problem, if that's a regional problem.
I think it's a Caribbean problem. And I'll tell you why. Our ancestors came from a time where education was as rare as gold. So they invested their time in making people that look like them fit the positions that people that did not look like them once occupied. So it's like doctors, lawyers, blah, blah, blah.
Like Sivers speaking, like, listen to me, the man is dropping science.
You want to hear whole quotes I get?
So,
my man, cricket, stop rubbing their legs.
Nothing happening.
Shortly after that, we became the lawyers and the doctors and the educators and the principals and the scholars and we killing, you know what I mean? And we became that. We thrived at it. We excelled at it. People say all the time that when they get Caribbean students, it's like their work ethic is like compared to none. You know what I mean? But then the problem is like we fixed that problem. Like education is still a problem on a level where it's like certain things need to be fixed, could be better, whatever. But like the rate at which the system is flawed. You know what I mean? But that's a whole different topic. But what I'm saying is like the problem was solved,
major issues, right?
But no one moved on from that. So now, because money was attached to those positions, it was like my daughter and son ain't going out there and beat no drum and talk about Mother Africa and get paid $0. My daughter and son going to school at Harrison College, St. Michael's School, Queen College, and he gonna become a doctor or lawyer. Because I ain't slave in these fields. I ain't grew up from the licorice villages and the IVs to let my son go out there and talk about why I was born in Barbados. I could have died twice.
I could have do it.
From the earth of sun and Africa, we unite. I try and scrape, and then the man. I can tell you a joke. This is a segue, right? I love NIFCA because I participated in NIFCA. Me and my partner Lamar Coward, shouts out the Buff Poet, did NIFCA together, and we won a silver medal, right? But I'm going to tell you what my problem with NIFCA is. At the time we did a piece called "You Cut Us," it was about stuff that was going on in Barbados, like DLP was in power and different things was going on. You know what I mean? So it was a very politically charged piece. We did the piece, went to all the hearings and everything, and we came to the little table. You do I don't know if you know what NIFCA, but what happens is you do your piece in front of the judges before the grand night or whatever. Yeah, and they give you critiques on what you can change like a couple of days before.
So you get a chance to change it.
Yeah. So they looked at that straight and they were like, "Yo, this is a gold medal piece, but we can't give you a gold medal because you're criticizing current political.
They did not
events."
tell you that.
Of course they did, Tremaine.
And
They
they
should
were-
be ashamed to say that.
And they were just like,
You call
and
me
they were
whatever you
just like,
want.
if you change,
They're ashamed to say that.
she was like, change these lines,
Yuck.
and you good.
Vomit.
I mean, Lamar was like,
don't
nah.
get me wrong. I'm
Two
still
Nifka one cup.
so we got
Yuck.
silver medal. We
Two
got
Nifka one cup.
Oh, you don't.
Nifka
No
is
podcast,
for
man.
me.
No. You know we blacklist no for sure.
Nifka is for you. Nifka is for all people to show what they can do. But
anyway,
I am done. I am finished.
because we podcast we shit on this going. Anyway,
yeah, Red Out podcast coming soon.
Anyway, so don't value attached to art because no one from no offense to your generation
No, for sure.
attached value to it.
I was going to say that
You know what I
you touch on something extremely powerful
because
education was a and still is considered
very rare
by many to be a path out from underneath oppression.
for sure.
So a post-colonial society, a post-colonial society trying to create a middle class uses education as a vehicle to do so.
So my counter to
So
that
and how do you do that? Because there are particular positions and so on and particular things within society that are like kind of pillars. Doctor, engineer, lawyer. So you want your children to become this because, as you said, I'm working hard in this with my house, scrubbing his clothes so that my son can become the next person to hire a person that is doing this job. You understand? So then when your son decides, but no, there's a particular type of canvas that I need to represent my feelings on. Nah.
Start with I here.
Listen, mate. You think that I sent you to school with your brother's shoes for you to do this nonsense? That's what I mean, and that's a reality of the society that we are and where we came from.
I responded to a lot of that in anger.
Hold up. We ain't done yet, but we do got some Kool-Aid to mix. In the Sivers interview part 2, Siv rebels against Barbadian expectations for success. We get into those Bridgetown remixes, the formation of Red Eye Records, and the first Wireheads podcast cypher. Stick with it.